So grateful to see the folks who are here live and also those who are watching on the replay. I am delighted to be sharing this first day of spring with you, whether you're actually watching in real time and it's actually March 20th. And oh, a school bus is going by. Hey, hi kids. Uh, and I'm thrilled to spend time out here on the porch with you. Tracy is here, Evie is here, Ninja is here. What a great way to start the day. I have to tell you that when I was journaling this morning, I wrote, please let people come to my live this morning. Please let people come to my live this morning. And what a blessing to log on and see that people were waiting. Wow. What a great way to start this stream. So hooray. I would love to ask you, all of you, if you would start in the chat with responding to this question, as well as greeting each other and talking about whatever you'd like to talk about. Good morning, good morning. I would love to hear about something, maybe you haven't thought about this yet, but one of the things that I've been thinking about in the last couple of days is, what do I really want to experience this spring? What do I want to try? What emotions do I want to feel? What do I want to create or bring to life? I almost want to say, what do I want to avoid? But I am not one that lives in that. Usually I don't focus on what I want to avoid or what I don't want. I try to focus on what I do want. But sometimes when we look at what we don't want, we can gain more clarity on what we do want. Can you tell that I have my coaching hat on this morning? So anyway, I am so glad that you're here. Spring Equinox is actually at 10:46 this morning on the East Coast. So 2 hours from now, it will officially be spring. Oh, Evie, that is wonderful. Evie says that she wants to paint outside in nature, otherwise known as, I think it's pronounced plein air or plein air painting. I have been known to do plein air or plein air, sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, writing outside. I love that. I oftentimes bring my notebook with me while I am hiking about, tromping around in the woods. And I'm excited to do more of that. It's much easier or more comfortable to do that in the spring than it is in the cold New Jersey winter. As a matter of fact, right now I'm pretty chilly. But when I'm always so excited to go live that I like, oh, do I need a coat? The sun is out. The Californian in me says, it's sunny, it must be warm. Yes, good morning. Hi, so good to see you, Becca. Hello. Tracy wants to start walking more in local parks and be more present in the moment when she walks. That is excellent, Tracy. I want to tell you something I'm adding to my walking is I tend to want to document so much that I have my phone out. So one thing that I would like to do is, well, it's a two-parter. I'd like to get a, you see I'm pointing to my wrist. I would like to get some sort of Fitbit or phone or watch. My daughter has, I think it's an Apple Watch, and it keeps track of all kinds of stuff. And I would like to do that. I would like to have a Fitbit as some kind of tracker. And then I would like to put a timer on that and set it for a certain amount of time that I can walk and enjoy the walk, and then start document inside of it. And Ninja wants more financial freedom this spring. That's fantastic, Ninja. I woke up this morning at 4 a.m. What woke me up? I was worried about finances. Why was I worried about finances? Because I made a really big investment this week. And making that really big investment was exciting and thrilling, and I know that I'm going to be really grateful for that investment, and it was scary. And this was the second time this winter that I made a really big investment. One was actually investing in, I have a financial advisor, which is a really strange thing for me to even say out loud because I didn't used to. But I met with my financial advisor. We worked again on my financial plan, and we invested some more money. And then I invested in a beautiful, beautiful new bed. That was my big investment that had me worried, because I spent more on my new bed than I've ever spent. Well, I have not. So here's the strange thing about me. I have never bought a nice bed. ever. I've had some pretty not great beds in my life. And I decided that since I'm more interested in being healthy and more excited about living longer and more excited about being around when my grandchildren are growing up and be present in their lives, that I needed to do things like invest in a really great bed. And it's also nerve-wracking. I literally cried. I literally cried. Okay, Abby said Google took over Fitbit. Okay. Thank you, Tracy says. You deserve it. We all need a comfy spot to sleep. Oh, Kay and Roe are here. I thought they were on. Are you on your way to Pennsylvania, Kay and Roe? I didn't see you hop in. They might be driving because I believe they're on their way. Yesterday I was told they would be on their way. But it's so good to see you guys. Oh, there we go. You took a moment to pop in. Oh, I hadn't read the comment yet. Kay and Roe, always supportive. And I can say now, when I met them 9 days ago, 10 days ago, not this week, but last week, you know when you meet people you've never met that you know from online? I've done that with some of you. I've met some of you. Oh, okay. Hey, Sir Cramsalot. Sir Cramsalot is the trail name for one of Kay and Rose's friends. I don't know if he can hear, but good to see you. Or I'm looking forward to seeing you on the video. I would say that meeting Kay and Roe was nothing short of magical. They are so generous. They are so patient. They are so real. They're like above and beyond who you see on your videos. I mean, on their videos, they're amazing people. You know, they're fantastic. Okay, I hope I'm still on. Was getting a phone call. Please tell me I'm still on. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say they're just spectacular humans. Some of you don't know that I have extreme anxiety and nerves, or I've had extreme anxiety and nerves about walking and hiking with other people, and I'm working on healing that. It's like if you know what the fascia is connective tissues in your body, and my fascia before, like on that day, it didn't happen. That day I was not but every other time before that day with Kay and Roe, if I was on a walk with other people, I could feel my fascia just going like this. And when my fascia goes like this, it means I'm really activated. My nervous system is like, no, don't do this. This is scary. This is frightening. This might be bad. It might sound strange, but it's an extremely vulnerable experience for me to walk and hike with other people. And yet when Kevin reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to meet them, it was an immediate yes. It was like, yes, I want to do this. And while I was nervous, because I thought these are like, how I was thinking about it was, meeting up with Kay and Roe was like, everybody's texting and calling. What is up with this? Meeting up with Kay and Roe was like meeting the first string athletes. Like very famous athletes. I was imagining like a quarterback and a running back of your favorite football team, if you have one. So for me, it was like meeting, and I don't even know the players anymore because I don't really watch pro football, but my family are big New York Giants fans. So it was like meeting the quarterback and the running back, and I am like the third string water girl. You know, I am the third string water girl who's called up when nobody else can show up. Like, oh my gosh, we have to call Julie. You know, she can barely carry the water out to the field, but she's going to do it. So anyway, that was how it felt. And yet you could not meet a better star quarterback and star running back. You couldn't. You could not. They were just amazing. So I'm glad that I was able to say that, to speak that here live. But as we're talking, what do you want to do in spring? What are some of your hopes, dreams, goals, and plans? If you haven't thought about it yet, feel free to put it in the chat and or not. If you are thinking about it, you might want to write it down. I actually wrote some stuff down inside. And I wanted to show you something too. Oh, that's great. A reminder. If you would like this video, if you're here with me still, if you would like the video, I'd appreciate that. That helps. So if you think it's too late, I can't say what I want to do or experience in spring because I haven't done it yet. And I want to show you this. Some of you have seen and know that I am a big time journaler. And so when I went on my recent road trip, by the way, I'm editing our next video, and it is really cute. It's really cute. I'm loving it. It's Emma and me at our finest. So, yes, that's totally cool. Totally cool. If people drop off, that's fine. This is my journal that I made when I was traveling cross country, and it starts with this quote from Betty Smith. Oh no, it's actually not from Betty Smith. It says, I'm experiencing a restorative, delightful road trip filled with adventures and curated conviviality that will long be remembered with great joy. So that was like, I put my intention right at the front. Thank you, Tracy. We were having a great time. And then I put this here because transformation is an invitation. And then I have this Mid-Atlantic to South to West 2026. And then look what happens. Nothing. I have not done any journaling. I prepared some pages. This is an altered book, by the way. It's a book that I'm making into a journal. I have not documented yet, which is really weird. I had planned to document as I went, but now what I'm realizing is that I'm glad I didn't, because in editing the videos and reliving those moments, and I'm going to go back and start with those first days, I'm ready for it. It's like the videos were the raw material and are the raw material, and I can keep those memories alive as I document them. Interestingly enough, today, and Kevin actually asked me about, I mentioned how through hiking AT videos is what brought me back to YouTube, and how I actually came across Kay and Ro because I was looking for through hikers in New Jersey, and they showed up. So that was how I discovered them 3 years ago. And a couple who hiked the Appalachian Trail last year in 2025 have a book coming out, which I pre-ordered, and today it's finished. And so I was so excited to see that video because Kevin said, what do they show in through hiking videos? And it was hard to describe. I mean, different vloggers do it differently, but that particular couple, who is amazing, they actually were writing and painting as they were hiking the AT. And so they hit a couple buttons that I love: creativity, partnership in couples. Again, Kay and Ro also have amazing partnership as a couple. One of the things that I watched them in their video this morning, they kind of did a little short compilation, and watching Susie look at Robert as Robert was speaking. I mean, that is so touching to me, so inspiring to see couples like that. Okay. Kevin wrote, or Ro wrote, we usually have fun until we're past 10 miles and people start getting cranky. Hey, if maybe someday I'll hike 10 miles, maybe in a day. That just sounds amazing. Although I know that Kay and Ro are in Pennsylvania on the AT, and that's some pretty intense mileage. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you. And I was going to say, Tracy said, it looks like we're having so much fun in our videos. The video that I'm working on now was like the toughest emotional day. And so a lot of it is making resistance fun. And so that will come out on Sunday. You will see some bad acting from me again, because for whatever reason, I can't give up acting badly publicly. Yes, I would say I do have a romantic side. And I would say my romantic side is both romantic, like honoring romance between people, but also living what is historically romantic life. And what I think by that is, if you look at like the romantic era, it's basically how you see me, in that I truly love life. And I truly love most moments of life. And I try to portray that. And so even the fact that when I show up and I fail, which I do fail regularly, I try to temper that with, I don't like to use the word positivity. I consider myself a realistic optimist. And so I am optimistic. And I like to think that I'm grounded in what's real. But probably my most favorite way to be is to be fully grounded and also fully divine or connected to the divine. So there's that. But yeah, so thank you for that observation. All right. So has anybody said what you want to do this spring? Has anyone said that yet? By the way, on the replay, if you want to plug that in, that would be awesome. Some of you already talked about this. We sort of hinted about this yesterday too on the live stream. So, okay. There we go. Just making sure. Okay. All right. So we wanted to, what do you want to do in spring? I started riffing on this on my own, talking about spring. Okay. Evie says she sees me as a person that needs alone time to recharge and loves nature. I do. I am an ambivert, which means I'm both an introvert and an extrovert. I'm not, and I really am not one who fits into boxes. For me, it's like if somebody puts me in a box and I'm going to rebel against that. Can you hear the cardinal? So pretty. And I can see from where I'm sitting, I live, just excuse me, but I live on the top of a hill. This is the only time in my life I've lived on the top of a hill. And like at eye level, I can see birds in flight. It's so amazing. I'm so grateful that I've had this time here. I do need alone time, Evie. Absolutely. If I have too much peopling, I'm like, I've had too much peopling. I've had too much peopling. I literally will back away. Oh, yay, they're absolutely gorgeous. Yesterday when I was walking over to choir, I was like standing outside the front door and I was listening. I had my Merlin app on and I'm like, what is that bird? What's that bird? And it was a cardinal. And I was like, wow, I didn't remember cardinals sounding like that. But again, in spring, they may sound different. Okay, so the iPhone health app, that's cool. One of the reasons I want to have something wearable is because I don't want to be, I get so excited to document, like I said before, is that I want to have like no documentation guideline when I start, so I can get fully started and fully in motion. And so yeah, that's part of my thing, but yeah, that's good. That's cool. Yeah, it is good. I love when y'all talk to each other. That's one of my favorite things. And Tracy, by the way, Tracy at Cova's Cattails, I need to tell you that she's the reason this is even happening, because Tracy mentioned me doing a live stream on my porch, and I thought, hey, I could do that. So here we are, thanks to Tracy. We wouldn't be here. Oh, you have a ring. Oh, is that the, okay, so pardon my stupidity with technology. Does that mean that you wear a ring and it captures all that stuff? Next week, so one of the things I want to do this spring is to learn how to do all these things that I do in a truly nomadic fashion. What I mean by that is wherever I go, I want to keep up with my stuff. Hi, Chris. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you for being so welcoming. Oh, you're a caregiver from Canada. I learned this week that Ryan Gosling is Canadian. And as soon as I learned that Ryan Gosling is Canadian, I'm like, well, that's why he's so nice. Oh, very cool. Very good. That's excellent work. Important work. I was a caregiver for my mom, and she had Parkinson's. So I know how difficult that work is. I don't know. I know there may be some other caregivers here too. So welcome. I'm glad that you have some time to watch with us. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So Evie told me, yes, that ring is like a tracker, like a watch. That's interesting. I haven't worn a watch to bed in a long time. We'll check it out. We'll try it out. The other thing that I also got that Catherine, my daughter, helped me with is to set up this really fancy alarm clock, because I don't want to rely on my phone for an alarm clock. Last night I forgot to set my alarm clock and promptly overslept. Excellent. I'll check you out when we're done with the live stream. Thank you, Chris. So we're talking about what we want to experience this spring, what we want to do, what we want to feel, how we want to feel, what we might want to create. So like, for example, Evie said she wants to do painting outdoors. And I know that Kay and Roe are section hiking the Appalachian Trail in Pennsylvania. I know they're doing that. Thank you so much. Ninja's working on fitness, as am I. I am working on content creation constantly. Oh, that reminds me. If any of you have any ideas for my Good Morning Loves, which I'm still creating, even though I'm not posting them every day, I'm still creating them. I would love to have your input. I've had a sort of block around posting too much too often. And so I'm getting over that. I'm working on getting over that. And I finally had a guru who said something that I said, okay, if you say that, I'll believe that. Because there's so many different views across YouTube among guru type of people. So I want to work on those journals for my road trip because I want to hold those memories close in writing and also in creative process beyond the videos themselves. So I want to do that. I showed you my my journal that I started with the intention in it. If you are here on the replay, you can look back to that section of the video. I also want to keep up my reading life, which has been so much fun lately. I want to show you what I'm reading right now. I'm reading this classic 84 Charing Cross Road. Has anyone heard of it? Maybe you've seen the movie. Maybe you've seen the play. I have done neither. But you know, I'm kind of at the age that I could play the lead character in this play. Yes, you're right. You're right. I would say there are too many guru types, or there's so many guru types on YouTube. I mean, like a Good Morning Love meditation. I do have a meditation planned for writers. So I could talk about, maybe I could talk about it on Good Morning Love and maybe do a very short, like 1 minute meditation. Because so many people are like, they're not like, so many people are nervous or uncomfortable at the thought of being quiet for a long time. So that would be a really good subject to bring up. I want to do May is National Meditation Month, and years ago I did a series on poetry and meditation. So I might try that again, poetry and meditation in May. Good morning, Rhonda. So glad you're here. So I want to say this is a really great book, 84 Charing Cross Road. It's epistolary, meaning these are nonfiction letters. If any of you have been hearing a lot about The Correspondent, it's a book that has taken the world by storm. It's a word of mouth book, first time author, and it's also epistolary, which means it's all in letters. How this is different than The Correspondent is it is actually nonfiction. These are real letters that Helene Hanff published. She also became, although she wanted to be a playwright, she mostly wrote for TV, and she's just a hoot. Poetry and meditation, yes. Rhonda, to catch you up, I just asked for topics for Good Morning Love for the spring, as I'm doing the Good Morning Love video series. And also, what are you wanting to do this spring? We've had some good conversation around that. I also just finished today. Hi, Laura. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I just finished this book, The Husbands, by, let's see if I can see her name. I can see it on the front. Holly Gramazio. Very good. This is what they call speculative fiction. Magical realism. There's some alternative universe stuff going on in this one. It's very, very good. It's a good book, but kind of weird. You might not like it. My favorite librarian didn't even finish it. I thought it was very interesting. It's not perfect. I did write a review on Fable. If you're on Fable, you can follow me and we can be friends. And then I'm also reading this book, How the Word Was Passed by Clint Smith. It is Remembering Slavery and How It Shaped America. Now, Clint Smith is also a poet, an incredible poet and writer, journalist. I first discovered him on talk shows, and I admired his eloquence. This book I'm listening to on audio, and this is the young adult version, and I read different genres. Like this is nonfiction, and this is rough. This is not an easy read, and it's an important read. So I read short chapters. I read this like in the morning, and then I read poetry. I don't even have my poetry book here because I'm actually reading through that on my Thursday live stream. And this book I just finished, so I'm not reading this right now. And this book I just started, so I kind of was cheating. I'm not reading all of those at the same time. But a book like Clint Smith's, I can't. It's like I was listening to the audio, and I was like, I can't listen. It's too intense for me to listen to, and I'm too tenderhearted. So I started to read the young adult version because I figured it might be less difficult for me to read some of the uncomfortableness on a young adult version. So okay, whew. And I've read 20 books this year. So far, which for me is actually slower paced than usual. I know, I'm a nerd. I'm a total nerd. I'm in a lot of book clubs. That also helps. All right, so enough about me. I'd love to hear about you. I'm going to sit back for a moment and rock. Okay, sure. And I'll give a couple more tips as I'm leaning back and rocking. Is that one of the ways to make a list or think about what you want to do in a season or even in a day or a month or whatever you're looking at, is to say, I want to. I'll give you some prompts. I want to blank. And then one of the things that I do is if I can't think of what I want, and some of us I will say that there's been a time in my life when I couldn't have told you what I wanted because for so long I didn't allow myself the luxury of wanting things. That's a big confession. Sometimes it's easier to look at what we don't want. We can look at what's happening in our lives that we don't want more of that. And then as we kind of declutter that, we can see what we truly want. And so I want this, I want that, I want the other. So starting with that, the other thing is if you write a daily to-do list, a to-do list is actually a goal list. So you can look at your to-do list and hopefully there's some things on there that you like to do. Hopefully it's not all things like get a root canal and scrub the toilet, although those things are important as well. So I brought this mug here on purpose for this video because I knew I would be talking about what we want to do this spring. And this is my flying pigs mug. And I love flying pigs because, when pigs, the expression is something like when pigs fly, like you want to do something and you say, when pigs fly, you want to crawl back into bed. Is that it, Ninja? That's funny. This morning I woke up at 4, nervous, anxious. I fell back asleep. I usually start my desk time at 6 a.m. I was having a hard time falling back asleep, and then I turned on a yoga nidra meditation, and I fell asleep until 6:05. So I overslept my first Focus Mate co-working session. But I very calmly and collectedly got myself ready so I could be at my desk at 6:30 instead. I know. I'm a nut job. I read a lot of books and I start working at 6 a.m. But that works for me. Then I end up going for a walk in the morning, but later than after I first wake up. But there was a time when I would say, I would live in a 250-year-old house on the top of a hill in New Jersey. Oh, sure. That would happen when pigs fly. I need to get a screenshot of that. I really like this. Yeah, when pigs fly. And it happened. I will be on the New York Times bestseller list. Yeah, right. When pigs fly. And as a matter of fact, one of the books that I contributed to on the New York Times bestseller list. Not when pigs fly. That actually happened. Some other things. So you can think about that if you want to hold that as a visual. When pigs fly. I first wrote an essay about that when I was writing back in around before this millennium. I think it was like in 1989. And I wrote an essay about pigs flying and my family not believing in me. Oh, that's good, Evie. I'm like that you get up at 7 and you get going at 9. It's really good to put that buffer and that time to fully wake up. That's wonderful. I usually work at my desk between 6 and 8:30, although I'm also up and down doing short bursts of exercise. because I don't like to stay rigid. I like to, again, you heard me talk about my fascia getting tight. And one of the ways that it doesn't get tight is movement, because motion is the lotion. That's a phrase I use in my walking video. And it definitely helps. It definitely helps to be getting up and down and stretching and moving and walking. This house is also not small. I can't believe I've been living in this house all by myself for this time. But you know, to get up from my desk and go get a cup of coffee, I can practice, I can stretch. Sometimes I do sideways walking or backwards walking. So, yes, you are enjoying retirement, Evie. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. It's interesting because today, when we retire from our conventional jobs, there's so much of life left, which is pretty exciting. It's like you might retire from your conventional job and then you get to create freely and to create the life that you've always wanted to live. Ironically, I went back to conventional work in my 60s, something that I never thought I would do, but I did for a spell. You know, went to a workplace 5 days a week. It was totally strange for me. And at that time, I was grateful that I could have that job, because I needed that job. And I think it was also a good experience for me to have that healing from going back to the workplace, because I left my county employment in 1999, before the turn of the millennium. I left that, and it was a more definitely not a great. It was a good leaving for me, but I left because I went on a stress leave because 2 clients threatened to kill me. I don't know if y'all know that story. So I was working for county mental health, and 2 of my clients threatened to kill me within like a 6-week period. And the funny thing about that is, or funny, haha, not really funny, was I went to a Bible study one night, and one of the people in my Bible study said, "Oh, you work at county mental health? Isn't it scary working in that population? Isn't that bothersome?" And I said, "Oh no, I love my clients. My clients are the best. I love them. It's the administration I'm not so crazy about," which was also true. And then literally the next day was my first death threat. So I've always felt that was kind of a divine thing, to be sitting in Bible study, to get that exact question, and then have the first death threat come. And then 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, have the second death threat come. And I just decided that I didn't need to put myself in harm's way. And the whole process of going through workman's comp, which I didn't want to do, was really eye-opening and heart-opening. And I'm so grateful. Isn't it weird? I'm so grateful that I had that experience of having 2 death threats. As a matter of fact, Evie and Ninj talking about enjoying retirement is a good thing. That's a great goal. What do you want to do in the spring? I want to enjoy retirement. And then you can literally dive into that. So I want to enjoy retirement through or by, and then pay attention to the experiences that you want to have. Now we have something overhead. I also live close to a small airport, and at that airport they have skydiving. I sometimes say I would like to skydive, but I'm kind of scared to do so, mostly because of my knees. If I get over that hurdle, I would be amazed. Oh, you worked at a halfway home. Was that a long time ago, Evie, or was that recently? When I was in high school, in Dana Point, the California high school, we had, one of my classmates was from a halfway home. And it was very interesting because I'd never met anyone with that kind of a background. I come from very sheltered upbringing. So much so that as an adult in Bakersfield, I like karaoke. I think some of you know that. I love to sing. Which reminds me, I missed karaoke again this week. In the 80s, okay, so if some were violent and you were alone, that would be very scary. It would be very scary. I'm glad that you got out of that. But when you come from a very protected environment, as a young one. And I got taken to this bar. There was like a dive bar in Bakersfield. And you're thinking, dive bar in Bakersfield, a rough bar in Bakersfield? Are you kidding? No, we have them in Bakersfield. But I remember being very uncomfortable there the first time because I was not a dive bar girl. I was a nice place girl. So anyway, I thought that was funny. All right, we will keep this going for another 2 minutes. I'm trying to make longer lives because some person said to go live for at least 45 minutes. And I thought, 45 minutes? I don't think I can survive talking and holding court for 45 minutes. Because that's what lives sometimes feel like for me. It feels like I'm hosting a party. Otherwise known as Julie in the Uber era. Oh my goodness, you did the overnights. We used to call those nocturnal shift. I did my share of overnights too, both as a server in a restaurant and also in a facility. But my facility was with developmentally disabled, and they were not dangerous at all. Different kind of a population. The most dangerous thing that might happen is a bedwetting situation when I'd have to change the sheets, and that was fine. I didn't mind doing that. Yeah, I would bet some don't sleep. And I don't know if you were able to give them PRN or as needed medicine or not, but that would be really hard, Evie. I totally respect you doing that. And in the 80s, you were a baby. You were young in the 80s. I would be like, oh my gosh. All right, anyone else? What would you like to do this spring that you haven't stated? If you want to state it publicly. If you don't want to state it publicly, that's cool too. If you want to send me a message with a list, great also. If you want to talk about it on my community page, that would be great. I'll make up a separate post for that tomorrow. That would actually be a good idea. I'm proud of me for that. That's a great idea. Oh, yeah, it was creepy. Sounds very creepy. One of the things about were you working with well, I guess halfway houses, from the mental hospital. So were they offenders? Like, were they forensic people? People with, I'm trying to think what we called that in California, but there was a name for forensic offenders. So people who had been found incompetent to stand trial and then were coming back into the real world. You were 18. That was my first job, working in a facility for the developmentally disabled, but that was a very protected environment. That was actually I started in 1979 and I was 17. And back then they didn't check anything. Oh, Evie. Sweet little 18-year-old Emmy working with violent offenders. That would be petrifying. Yeah, I never had that. I had that clearly because I got my death threats. Those people were also, they both had criminal records, and they both had fairly easy access. They could have found me. The worst thing for me with one of the threats, thankfully he left it on voicemail so I could share it with my bosses, but he was so specific in what he would do, and he was so specific in what he would do with my children. Yes, it was a private halfway house, which as many of them are, maybe a 6-bed place, Ebby. And again, I don't know the Texas laws about this stuff, but in California, 6-bed facilities, people can just set them up anywhere. So you don't even have to get special approval from the county or anything. So yeah, yep. I was actually thinking of starting a board and care facility in Bakersfield for the elderly. Not dangerous elderly, though. But for people who don't want to live, like they want to have assisted living, but they don't want to live in one of the big facilities, I think there is a need for smaller facilities. Oh, 12. Okay. Learn to keep your back to a wall. Definitely. Most definitely. So when I was on one of my morning walks in Bakersfield, I was like, okay, I want to buy a house in this neighborhood. And long ago, I thought of opening a facility like that. I haven't done it yet. I've often had that as a part of what I call my lottery plan, that if I ever won the lottery, I would start one of those homes, because there is money to be made. And so I could employ people. That's always been a secret dream of mine, to employ people in a really great employment arena, where it would be a really great place for folks to work and live. So there you go. I'm sharing one of my dreams again. Okay, thank you so much, Evie. Thank you. I'll be checking out in a minute. One more minute. Last call. Last call for comments and positive energy. I hope Evie didn't work at that place for very long. It's an interesting thing how when you come on lives, you learn more about the others in the room and perhaps more about yourself. And it's perfect timing too, because you might be able to tell the sun's going behind clouds, it's clouding up, and it's getting cooler. And I've made it to 40 minutes, so I feel like I've done what I needed to do. I'm always curious what they'll put up in their, one of the reasons why I do vertical lives, somebody asked me about that. And it's because I like the instant clips that they make, that YouTube makes. I always am very curious to see what they deem as, you know, a best moment. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they create. Any last words from anyone else? You love dreaming. Dreaming is really awesome. Hey, Ninja, would you do me a favor and take a screenshot so you can see some of the comments, and I'll put my mug up like this? How does it feel being old? Oh, it's so perfect that you came in at the end of this live. It feels fantastic being old. I love being old. Being old is such a delight, because when you're old, it means you've made it through a lot of things. You've experienced hardships, most likely, and you've chosen to continue to live to the best of your abilities. And when you're old and you choose to continue to grow as a human, that is the mark of a life well lived. So that's how it feels to be old. And I appreciate you asking. All right. So with that, I will sign off and say thank you, thank you, thank you, each and all. I'm going to see if I can take a screenshot. Okay, let's see if I can do that. Okay. And I think I'm still live. That's fantastic. All right. Oh, you took a screenshot too? Okay, great. Those are facts. Thank you. Thank you for being here. We haven't met yet, and I'm so happy that you came. I see that you're almighty push. So I'm glad that you're here. Safety to you too as well. Bye, Ninj. Bye, anyone else who's still here. I'm so grateful for your time and your energy and your presence. It just makes my day so much more fun, so much more happy. Yay, old people. And we'll catch you next Friday. I'll be in a very different location, and I'm really excited about trying that out, because that's one of my goals, to keep doing what I do no matter where I am. Thank you so much.